My friend. I almost went off screen. Tell you what, today we're going to learn how to play any song. The idea is we're going to use a little foundational music theory to analyze a song and then be able to come up with the melody, figure out the chords that are in the key, and see if it stays within the chord structure. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please subscribe, put something kind of cool in the comment section if you could. I'm going to go over to the other place, play a little guitar. Maybe if we pick a guitar song, if we play piano, I've got the chordy hooked up so we can see what the chords are, talk about intervals. This is just basically an exploration on every Tuesday. What we do is we do a little Q&A and come to the channel, join the comment section, join our ever-growing music community, get turned on to other YouTube original and cover artists that I meet through a course of just doing interviews and meeting people online that have fun and groovy attitudes and awesomeness. So what I'd like to do is turn you on to being able to understand a little music foundation, and that starts by putting it up on the board and doing what I do. That means draw what I draw, say what I say, feel what I feel. When you understand that a little bit of movement starts with just one concept and then you start gaining concepts after that, it really does compound after a while. Some of my students, from what I've noticed, is they get kind of bored after like maybe 3 or 4 sessions because the idea of building a foundation of music to some people is boring. The idea of building that foundation as a teacher, you just have to make it fun. So I figured out multiple ways to do this with all different age groups, all different instruments, and what I'm just showing you right here is kind of how the way that I process it and put it all together and what's going on in my brain. I hope it makes sense to you. If it doesn't, ask questions. It helps me become a better teacher. And as far as the process of music, it helps us just to kind of do some analyzation. So if you are in the comment section today, throw down a song. I will jump to it if I can, if there's enough time. I'm just going to pick a random song here today. Let's see here. If we had a little bit of gumption, I would pick out something like super simple, like maybe like, I don't know, nothing that's too crazy. How about Paul Simon today? Let's go listen to a song. Check this out. Oh, look at him. He's looking good. All right. Oh, yeah, Edie Brickell. What I want is what I want. Oh, that's a fun one, too. The hits. What are the hits? Sound of Silence, Bridge of Trouble, Audio Comment. Yeah. Chevy Chase. See, all of my funny musical and comedy idols are getting to that age right now. Interesting. So, how about me and Julio? Let's see. Does it have the video? Oh, this should be cute. Let's watch this. And it'll have the song, and we'll figure out what key it's in.
Game on. ESPN Plus content is now on Disney Plus.
Looking forward to being on the same team with you.
The greatest stories.
No one seems to know this, but Amazon actually has a 50...
Shh. Alrighty. Now, that was fun. So, what I'd like to see here, what is going on my screen? Good goodness. I had something pop up. Sorry about that. So, Paul Simon, that's a groovy tune. It was in the key of A, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing we do every time. I'm going to draw out that circle O fifths. The reason why I draw out the circle fifths allows me to see the music kind of in a family of chords. So, the idea is circle a fifth. Ta-da, draw the circle. C major has no sharps and no flats. That means that when we say C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, we are quite literally talking about 3 tones. C, E, and G, and when they're played consecutively, they give us a major. The reason why C major is cool is when you move up just those 3 tones by step, you find that there are no black keys. So we can consecutively move up all the way through C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and get all the way back to the tonic, the C, the 1 chord. So that shows what a grouping of chords are. They use the 7 diatonic notes. In the key of A, we would have A major, B minor, C sharp minor, D major, E major, F sharp minor, and then G sharp diminish. And then for those of you who do like writing chords and writing out charts, the only thing that I'm doing right here with these Roman numerals is I'm, I guess, giving them positions called intervals. So the 1 to the 5 would feel like going 1, 5. If we're playing in the key of A, we would be playing A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. It has F sharp, G sharp, and C sharp. The first key that has 1 sharp has an F sharp, G. Then we keep adding on using the circle of fifths. By going around and adding on chords from the circle of fifths, C, D, E, F, G, G has 1 sharp. That sharp is F sharp. So when we play through these notes, we are able to see that going through here to our next key, A has 3 sharps. F sharp, which is in G, C sharp, which became in D, and then G sharp right here. So the idea is for every single key, the last one that you add on is going to be the major 7th. You altered that to have a sharpened state of being. What happens is you are augmenting this for major and minors, and you are diminishing it for major and minors. The concept behind an augmentation or a diminish is to simply go up a half step or down a step. When we play an A and a I'm sorry, that's a G, but we play an A and a A sharp or an A and a B flat, it's called a minor second. Well, it takes 2 of these minor seconds to equal a major second. Then it takes 3 for a minor, 4 for a major, perfect, augmented, When we go through this process, you find that each one of these intervals has a very specific name. I'm not going to jump too much into that right now. That's more for like chord writing, melody writing, and music analysis. This is just to get a grasp on how to play in the key of A major once we are playing through a song. So, Paul Simon, this one, me and Julio down by the schoolyard, I dig it. I could always write this 100 million times. Let's complete our circle. When we go 5 notes from A, B, C, D, E, we get E. Now, the reason why some people put it through a school of thought of saying the sharps as you go is because if you don't say the sharps as you go, you would run into having F again down here as your 6. But we don't need an F that has 1 flat because this way it adds flats, this way it adds sharps. What we really want to do is talk about that minor 7th concept. When we play over the top of A to E is a 5th. If we play all the way up to A again, we have a perfect 4th, and that completes our 1, 5, 1. This is called a 5 chord. When we play that 3rd in there, it gives us A major. Or I should have grammatically said an A major. When we flatten the A to a major 7th, we get a major 7 chord. Oopsie doozies. Sorry, I played the wrong one. Gorgeous, A major 7. If we drop that down 1 more note from the A, G sharp to a G natural, we have just given ourselves an A7, knowing the difference between an A major 7, and then an A dominant 7. It is a great chord to know. When we move through here, oh, by the way, they're called secondary dominants. They're in every key, and that's how you modulate to different awesomeness. You can also modulate by a plethora of means, like common tone or family chord substitution. But we'll get into all that in different times. Right now, we're just talking about circle fifths. So when we do the next one, if I said all the sharps that predecess where I'm at, I would say E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. Boomzo. That is our 5th. Has 5 sharps. When we go no sharps, 1 sharp, 2 sharp, 3 sharp, 4 sharp, 5 sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp. The reason why we say the sharps when we do it, we will land on our next one. If not, you just need to know that in betwixt these notes, we would have different seconds, minor seconds, major seconds. These add up to be something called tertiary harmonies or tertiary notes. But the easiest way to remember it is all chords are called triads. Triads are composed of 2 dyads. In the key of A major, when we write out our A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, we're going to have something along the lines of this. Our 1 chord is going to be the A, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Notice how on these that when they're a lowercase and a lowercase, I'm writing them that way so you know that the sonority of these notes are going to be minors. We add our sharps as we know them. If you don't know them, just write out the whole key, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and then go back and say, okay, what key has no sharps? C. Great. What key has one sharp? It's G. That sharp is F sharp. G, A, B, C, D. The sharp right in front of it, I already wrote it, but it's the C sharp. D, E, F, G, A. Cool. The note right in front of A is G. Boom. Dunzo. This is our chord spelling. So when we want to look at the chords that are consistently through A major, what I do is I notice that the circle of fifths offers me all of these notes. When we look at this one as being our 1, 4, and 5, we have our A. Well, that's our 1 note. Our D is our 4, and our E is our 5. When we go through the process of looking at the circle of fifths, this shows that the first grouping that's around A, right to the left and right of it, those are the majors in the chord. The next 3 are going to be the minors. And when we fill in the circle of fifths, it does a really cool thing to our brain. When we play a G note, yes, this is a G note, and it's part of a G major. When we sharpen that G, we get like an A flat or a G sharp. Notes have 2 names. Just because it's called C does not mean that it's not a B sharp. Just because it's called a E flat does not mean that it's not a D sharp. So the idea of this is when we go 4 notes this way on our circle O fourths and 5 notes this way, we just call them out starting with our note, only in a diatonic scale. In the Western ear, there are 2 main scales that we talk about. One is called the chromatic scale, which in the key of A would have A sharp, A, B flat, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, E sharp, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. When we go through these, we can name them sharps forward. A sharp, B sharp, C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A, or flat. A flat, G flat, F flat, E flat, D flat, C flat, B flat, A. The idea is if you're able to memorize that A sharp is B flat, it helps when naming chords and doing chord extensions, meaning having a triad and then having another note or 2 or 3 on top of that. When we go around here and we go F, because we're diatonically, so we're starting with the F, G, A, B flat. Wonderful. B flat has 2 flats. It just so happens that F's flat, F, G minor, A minor, B flat major, C major, D minor, E diminished, F, happens to be right next to it. So when we go to this note, E flat, which is 4 notes from B flat, C, D, E flat. See the process of the circle of fourths and see the process of the circle of fifths allows you to look at keys. If you go here to the A and then you keep going, you've got a D flat and then a G flat and then a C flat. These are all 4 notes away. Well, C sharp is D flat. G flat is F sharp. And then, you betcha, C flat is a B. And if you look at it, yeah, sure. Here's a C. When I go down and diminish the C by a half step, I get a B. But it's also called a C flat. If you look at the line on the computer, it says that that middle C is on that ledger line. Well, notice when I press the B, it jumps down to the space right above the bass clef. Even though it is just a half step away, that big old space between your 2 clefs, the treble clef, the G clef, and then the bass clef, the F clef, that space isn't huge. It's very small. We just do that so you could separate between the 2 hands whilst reading. Also, when you have multiple parts going on, like written for ensembles, orchestras, or choirs, it's very hard to have that all smooshed together. So you kind of want to spread it out and have it like items together. There's a process for doing that too, and I'll explain that in a different video. When we go through the process of seeing this circle of fifths, this is kind of how I lay out my chords. So, aforementioned, these would be how we would name them. So I would put up here A major is A, C sharp, E. Then I would have my next note, which you have to include the sharps and the flats. If I just said B, D, and F, that would be considered a B diminished, meaning, no bueno, that's going to sound like the lending tone for C major. I don't want that. I want a minor. So I want my B, D, F. The next note is a C. Now, I do have some students that just like to write them down. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, C, D, E, F, G, and then they go back and write the sharps. But by doing it that way, you're just connecting the dots. By doing it this way and saying it out loud, you are connecting the dots that this is an A major, A, C sharp, and an E. B, D, F sharp. When we go to our next, we would have C sharp, E, and then G sharp. When we play these, it definitely gives us our note of a C sharp minor. Or else we would have had an E sharp, which, and harmonically, that's an F. So, going through again, we've got our next chord. It's going to have the F sharp in it. It's a major. My brain doesn't work today. G sharp is the major third of E, meaning the fifth is our B. After that, we've got, I'm sure we can memorize this thus far. We've got our F sharp, skip the G, play the A, and then skip the B, play the C. You need to include the key signatures. And in this key signature, for A, there are 3 sharps. When we play this, or we see that, we know definitively that a key signature that has 3 sharps is either going to be in the key of A major, or we go a shaka away. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kaboom! Every time we go 4 notes away on our circle fifths, we find ourselves at our relative minor. What does that mean? When we play C major and A minor, all the notes that are in C Ionian, or C major, and all the notes that are in A Aeolian, or A minor, are exactly the same. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, B. Right? So, finishing our contest here, or our concept here, the next note we're going to hit, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then we have G sharp. Skip the A, play the B. Skip the C sharp and play the D. Once playing this, we have our diminished chord. These all have a sonority. This one is a major, this is a minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then this one diminished. The only chord not represented through the circle of fifths is going to be a note or tone called an augmented. An augmented, as we aforementioned, is when we go up in half step. When we say an augmented triad, we are meaning keep the 1 and 3 dyad the same, and then augment that next tertiary harmony to have also a major third. In the key of A, if we had A, C sharp, and E, our augmented chord would add an E sharp. Gorgeous. So, if you understood what we're talking about up till now, these are all the notes and constructions we're going to be using to be playing our chord structure. I'm just going to leave them up there. You know, maybe I should scoot this back just a tiny touch of room. Does that work? Great. I could also move those, but I don't think I know how. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. Right on. Cool. So, can we still see the chords? Cannot. That's the bummer. I'd have to change that somewhere else. I don't know how to do it. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we go. These are our chords. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to here, and we're going to chart out this Me and Julio song. Let's see. Get rid of this circle fifths. We know our family of chords now. Hopefully all the chords that are inside of here are going to stay. I know that there's an intro where they're talking and doing their own thing, but the idea is when they start off and playing, it would go through as first notation. I think I'm just going to throw down blocking. So what I would do is throw down this whole big old line. If you're on a piece of paper, you could do it. Just evenly space them so you've got a space between to do at least 4 bars or 8 bars. I think I'll do 4 bars. Doesn't matter what we take. And then I just like to get rid of a little line in between so this separates it out into a bunch of different things. This last one, even though I don't know where I'm at, I'm going to put a double bar just so I know that that's going to be the end of our phrasing. And then I'm going to go up and put the rhythm. So we have... That feels like 4/4 common time. So I'm going to put that right up here for far. And then I've already got my key signature, but generally I would just put the key. If I'm going to play in the relative minor, I would have put F sharp minor. This one is definitely going to be an A. So I'm going to put there, or I'll just throw 1, 2, 3. Because anytime you see that right, you're going to know that's going to be A major. Can you see that on there? Very small, sorry. Extreme close up. So the first chord that we played in here is going to be the A major. It's the 1 chord. What is the next chord? Didn't feel like we played any minor chords. Yeah, it could be B minor. Let's see what a relative of B minor is. On our circle fifths, if it was up here, we would have just needed to go 4 notes over. So D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. Cool. B minor is the relative minor of D major. So G sharp. Doesn't sound like we're playing a G sharp minor though. Sounds like we're playing an E major. So E major, D major, A major, E major, A major. Looks like we got it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we would have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm gonna split them up. 1 and 2 and. I think this should actually be 2. 2, 4. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. That would allow us to go back and forth. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So we have an A, and instead of putting A to D right here, I'm gonna put our Roman numerals. Now, this song is pretty much consistent of being in the key of A. If you were playing an instrument where somebody could not sing, Mama Pajama rolled out of bed and ran to the police station, and you wanted to play this in a different key, you could augment this and play it in D. So you would have a 1 chord, and then you would have your 4 chord, and then you'd have your 1 chord, and then you'd have your 5 chord. So if you wanted to play Mama Pajama rolled out of bed and change the lyrics, the tone and intonation in which that's going to be held, then you can alter it. The reason why I would do that is I would write out something along the lines of 1 chord, and then we went to the 4 chord. We went to the 1 chord, and then we went to the 5 chord. Now, this is how I would write it for almost every single song that I would do. However, because this is a Paul Simon song, and I absolutely know that this is in the key of A major, we're just going to write it using our Chord Pro, or using our chordal names. Ooh, that looks like a double bar. So we've got an A, D, A, E, A, D, A, E. Now, since I know that this song does that over and over and over and over again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an intro right here. I'm going to put a double dot in the beginning and a double dot at the end. That allows me to know that we are going to repeat this. Mama Pajama goes right into that A there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Notice how when I put here, I have to put another line because I've changed the time signature. And then this one remains the same. There is an end of our section here, so I put a double bar signifying we are going to the verse, or otherwise known as the A form. Mama Pajama, Mama is it? Let me see what it sounds like on the guitar, because that's kind of what it's written for, isn't it? Alright, so let's take it a little slower. We've got that A, D, A, E, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 2. So honestly, I would have this in an 8. Cool, that's how it feels. A major, D major, and E. Not too shabby. Those are fun and easy chords as well. So if we're going to jump up to the board, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put some little repeats right here. They just repeat the bar before it. If you had this through here, it would repeat the lines that came before that, all of those. But that's not what we want to do here. We just want a single repeat. Helps me to spread some space while I'm making charts out. Mama Pajama rolled out of bed, ran to the police station. 3, 4, E. When Papa found out, he began to shout. And this one, since it has a walk up, I'm going to do something like this. I'll have the E, which is here, and put a slash and just talk about the bass notes as if we're moving up those notes. E is our first measure, so I would just put E right here. And then right here, I would put E, 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 and have a slash, 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 E, F sharp, G, G sharp, and then it goes into A. Why? G sharp is the lending leading tone right back into A. It feels great. Paul Simon, rock on. When this moves, this is the end of it. Mama Pajama rolled out of bed and ran to the police station. Ooh, it does that twice. Addendum. D, D. Papa found out, he began to shout, and he started, ooh, that's why. All right, so this is a learning curve for me. We don't need to write 2 here. We just put the D here, throw this down, and we have our D starting the next phrasing, or phrasing here, and then phrasing here. And then this one will go to the E, this repeats, and then we do the walk up. Mama Pajama rolled out of bed and ran to the police station. When Papa found out, he began to shout, and he started the investigation. Check, check, and deck. That's how we write that A part. The next thing is going to be our chorus or our refrain. So I'm going to put a B right here, put a box around it, start another double bar because it's the starting of a section. Also, this one should have had it. Starting and ending, starting, ending, starting and ending. This one is. Goes back to E. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Was against the law. 2, 3. Was against the law. What the people saw was against the law. Back to the A. It only lasts for that long, and then it goes right back up to a verse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put. Does it do that twice? Okay, yeah, it does do it twice. The second time it goes through and it does something a little bit different. Let's make sure we have that right and check it with form over on the guitar. What a fun song. So we've got. Against the law, what people saw was against the law. Mama Pajama spit on the ground every time my name get mentioned. When Papa found out, don't get that phone, don't stick him in out there damn town. Oh, it goes back to the A, so we gotta hold that out. Does not go back to that part, so we can't just do a quick repeat. We're gonna have to do an alteration. So the way that we're gonna do that is we're gonna jump up onto the board here. I want to repeat this, and rather than having to write it again, I'm just going to put DS all first end. That allows me to go through here and see that this one, now when I put 1 right here, allows me to see that as the 1, and then I'm going to throw this up here and see this as the 2. When we take the DS all first end, this is dal segno, which means we're going to go up here, put a little S and a little S and put 2 little dots on the side of it, and we're going to jump right all the way back up to here and repeat that verse. So we go through verse 1, chorus. Go all the way back up here, and when it ends here on the end of this first, it skips this and then goes to the third part, which is going to be our C. Put a little box there. It's going to go to a D major, and we're going to be playing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I don't know where I'm going. So switching back between these majors, I'm on my way. Here's where it gets really fun. I think it does some chord switches. D, I'm on my way, don't know where I'm going. I'm on my. You want to see this with Cordy? I bet you. I'm on my way. When we play this, we're gonna do D, B7, E. What is that? So we've got D, B major. Is that right? Ooh, somebody might need to correct me here. Somebody might need to correct me right here. I'm on my way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. I'm taking my time. Here, let's see what it sounds like on guitar. See if I can correct this in my brain here. Oh, that's not a great singing. There we go. Don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. Taking my time. But I don't know where. I think that's it. There it is. A, B, E. A, B, E. Paul Simon. Using these, and it definitely is a major because it feels as if the chord structure has changed there. So we could do, I'm on, don't know where I'm going, I'm on my way, but I'm taking my time, but I don't know. It's probably a B dominant 7 because a B minor 7 doesn't feel right. It feels too melancholy. But I don't know where. Although either one kind of works. It's only the difference of one tone. I'm okay with that. How about you? All right. So when we're going through here, that looks like I'm on my way. I don't know where I'm going. I'm on my way. I'm taking my time, but I don't know where. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2. I would put something like this. Do a time switch, 2, 2, A, B, E. Go back to 4, 4. And I'm on my way. And I'm going. We'll see what it feels like. I'm on my way, I don't know where I'm going. I'm taking my time, but I don't know where. Goodbye, Rose. Dun, dun, dun. Goodbye, 1, 2, 3, Corona. Singing. Ooh. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2. So this is 2, 4 right here. Too far. Type of thing. Yeah. So we've got dun, A, G, da, da, D. Yeah. A, G, da, Let's see if it matches up with the correlation over there on the guitar, which is a little easier for me to tab out since piano is not my main instrument. Let's see here. Let's just keep it in 4. Zoinks. A, G, D, E. And the next time, A, D, A, E. And it repeats this. Does a hard stop and goes all the way back up to the top. Follows the whole thing again. Not to the top, but it follows the A section. So I'm going to put Do, DS, Al, Segna. And then after it does this instrumental, I think it fades out. So Al Fine. And then we'll put Fine down here. And that's kind of how the song ends. Oh, I'm sorry, I left you up on there with nothing to see. My bad. So this is how I charted out the whole song. Has an intro, has an A section, has a B section, has a C interlude, and then it goes and does a lot of repeats. So you've got 2 verses and an instrumental, and then it ends on just a quick ending, or I think on a couple different versions. Maybe there's like some birds or flutes that take it on out. Very, very cool. So this is how I would chart a song. This is how you can learn any song. What we did was we took it by seeing what key it was in. After we found out what key it was in, we took a little bit of that music and we tried to move it around. Meaning, we took all the chords that were in A major and then we utilized them to play some pretty cool stuff. Can you see all of this? There we go. I'll do that right there. I'm getting better at the computer screen. I do apologize about my technological negligence. I'm getting better at it though. Cool. So there is that A section. Maybe I can move this down. Cool. I'm going to play just a little bit of that right there and see if you can follow along with this. The section we learned, I'll read the board here. We got 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, I'm not digging it in 4 with those quarters. I think that should be changed to 2/8. And that's probably like 4/8, but that gets driven down. 2/8 just means that there are 2 beats per measure, and you can see them as being quarter notes, like I was just exhibiting. Down, 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 or do them as 1/8 notes. Or that feels like 16th notes. I mean, dare I say 16th? These are just becoming compounded. Started the investigation. Well, I'm on my way. What people saw as the kids moved on. Well, I'm on my way. Don't know where I'm going on my way. Taking my time, but I don't know where. Goodbye, road. Speed of Corona. Singing me and Julio down by this schoolyard. Singing me and Julio down by this schoolyard. Cool. Saw something that I need to change right there. At the end, I'm just going to make a quick adoration. When we see this, yeah, that fits in time. However, this is what needs to be repeated, not this. That's just the beginning. To signify it's a little bit different, I'm going to put bars on this because it'll just let me know that there's something a little bit different than a full measure, a full phrasing for a period. Other than that, this is the basic way to look at a song, figure out what the notes are, what the key signature is, and then go through it and listen to your ear. Another really cool thing to do is to take that melody line that Paul is singing and then the harmonies and fit them together to see if all those chords fit within here. The only thing that we did that was super, super groovy, I think, that, you know, kind of defines a little bit of Paul Simon. There is no B major in the key of A, which makes me think, was this actually... Oopsie doozles. Let me get rid of this. Was this actually... Let's hear what it sounds like as a minor 7. Sounds too Pink Floydy, too jazzy. We want that thing to be a passing chord. When we play a B major, it alters our tone. But a B major and a B minor are common tones. They're only missing a half step, a diminished third. So we would have B, D, F sharp, B, D sharp, F sharp. And then when we add in our A, that's going to be our passing tone. This is our B diminished into an E7. So absolutely, I think we're playing a B major here, which means there is a major second. Where are we here? If I was writing out my pro and I was using Roman numerals, right here, I would be writing something along the lines of a 1 chord. And then rather than doing a 2 as a minor, I would be doing 2 as a major. And more importantly, I would be doing it as a minor, as a major 7, as a dominant 7th. Because the lending or leading tone that goes back into the key of E major, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B. When we play B as a dominant, it goes right into an E. Anyway, that's a lot of music theory. That's a lot of stuff we could chit chat about in forever about these things. If you join on Tuesdays, what I try to do is I answer questions. Oh, look at my farmer stand, crazy. I try to answer questions. I try to go through the process of understanding what core foundations of music theory is, how to use the circle fifths, how to chart something out, and then how to see what the triads are that are created from your 7 diatonic notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. The solfege helps us with singing to see intervals like... to hear 1 2 1 3 1 4 1 5 when you could hear 1 1 3 5 1, and you can hear the different notes that go along with just our arpeggiated notes. That's where music kind of gets fun, because not only do you know the notes that are in the song, but now you know how to add notes and create certain melodies inside of there or inflections. The best part about music for me is playing with other people. Once you learn how to play a multitude of different instruments, it's not about what you play, it's about how you play it. Seeing music through the eyes of the circle of fifths, seeing our notations as having time signatures and rhythms that are actually transcribable, and you can give them to somebody else to do either original music or to try your own favorite covers. If you dig this channel, please subscribe, put something cool in the comment section, and we will see you for our next adventure in music. Aloha!